এক পা চলে খোকা, এক পা চলে খোকা, নতুন আলোর দিগন্তে। মায়ের বুকে জাগে আশা, কোন সে মনের অজান্তে। মা মা এক পা চলে খোকা, নতুন আলোর দিগন্তে। মায়ের বুকে জাগে আশা, কোন সে মনের অজান্তে। মানি হাঁটি হাঁটি যায়, মানি হাঁটি হাঁটি যায়। স্বপ্ন পূরণ হবে মা, পথ চেরায় মা, পথ চেরায়।
My son Tamsi, he is 8 years old. He is not like other children. He is a child with autism.
Autism is a complex brain disorder, and the reason it's complex is because it affects all of the different parts of the brain. Now, because it affects all the different parts of the brain, you see all different kinds of problems. Children that would develop normally would develop normal speech, but children with autism don't develop normal speech.
According to the National Institute of Mental Health, 1 in 150 children are being diagnosed every day with autism.
When Tamsit was a child, I had no idea of autism. Tamsit was born 8 years ago in Bangladesh. I was born in Dhaka, grew up in Dhaka, the capital of Bangladesh. I was actually married to Fahim in 1990 and I had my first child, my daughter, in 1993. And after 5 years, Tamsit was born. He was born in Shishu Hashpatal in 1998. It was September and in the evening Tamsit was born.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
My in-laws were so happy because Tamsit was a male child, and it's very important in our society to have a male child in the family. All my in-laws were coming to my place. They were taking pictures, bringing sweets, like it was a celebration in our family. At the end of 7 months or 7.5 months, I apprehended that something is really wrong. Tamsit was not picking those toys up. he was just touching them with his body, or even sometimes he would ignore those toys.
প্রথম যেটা টের পেলাম, ও লাইটের দিকে তাকিয়ে থাকতো, যেটা সম্ভব না, একটা 100 পাওয়ারের বাল্বের দিকে বড় করে তাকিয়ে আছে।
He had a little bit of cereal in his fingers, and he was looking at those cereals so intensely. At that time, I thought it's very funny.
The brain disorder is so pervasive that it causes a lot of confusion. So when a child is in a situation, they have a tendency only to focus on one thing. Usually the thing that they focus on is not very important. They have a tendency to pick up objects and play with objects in a weird way, not a typical way. For example, this is a pen. It has a certain type of use, a certain way you hold it and you manipulate it. But they would play with the pen and look at lights and make noises with it and see how it affects their vision in a very peculiar, difficult to understand kind of a way.
I used to take Tamsid around the house. We had some curtains with textures, and if I would stand near a window for a while, Tamsid would look into those textures so closely, very keenly, as if he is observing those patterns. I told everyone also that he would be a designer someday. He is looking at those patterns so closely.
If you look at any section of the cortex of the brain, the outer layer of the brain, and you compare it to a neurotypical person. A neurotypical person is a person with no central nervous system problem, no brain problem. When information gets to the cortex, we see that information can go in and come out very quickly. And the reason is because all of the cells are in straight lines, and all of the cells are touching each other. They're symmetrically aligned, and they all have the same density, the same thickness. A person with autism does not have the same cellular structure as a neurotypical person. What we find when we look at the cortex is different size cells, different density cells, and things are not in straight lines. So what happens is when information comes in, it's not being processed effectively, and that lack of processing causes the disorganization.
Tamsid is now 7.5 months old. He's making a lot of noises, like mama, papa, something like that. We were very happy that he started talking. But then, close to 8 months, suddenly, all of a sudden, he stopped making all this noise.
প্রথম দিকে আমি বললাম যে না, এটা বোধহয় তেমন কিছু না, কিন্তু পর্যায়ক্রমে আস্তে আস্তে যখন ওটা বাড়তে লাগলো, তখন আমার কাছে একটু অস্বাভাবিক মনে হলো।
ছেলে উঠে বসেও না, ইভেন যে হুট করে দিলেও সে আবার ঘুরে সিট হয়ে যায়।
I was very worried, so I talked with Fahim. I told him something must be wrong with Tamsid.
I told her we should take him to a child specialist. We made an appointment with Dr. Emar Khan.
He is a renowned pediatrician, and so after an appointment, we took Tamsid to him. Check-up on Tamsid. Physically, Tamsid was okay, but he suggested that there might be some behavioral issues with Tamzid, so we have to take him to Shishu Hospital for a behavioral checkup.
During the appointment that we had for Tamzid at Shishu Hospital, we took our parents and other relatives, and the doctor was there at the Shishu Hospital. They had a long evaluation of Tamzid. They tried many ways to induce Tamzid to talk, but unfortunately everything failed, and the doctors came to a conclusion that Tamzid might be autistic.
When they told us that Tamzid may have autism, we were stunned.
অটিজম কি এটাই তো আমরা জানতাম, এই দেশের লোকেরই তো এই জিনিসটা। আমরা একটা জিনিস জানতাম যে বাচ্চা অনেক সময় রিটার্ডেড জন্ম হয়, মেন্টালি রিটার্ডেডও হতে পারে। অটিজমটা সম্বন্ধে তো আমাদের কোনো ধারণাই ছিল না।
When we heard about Tamzid being autistic, my mom was very worried about me and my married life. She started crying endlessly. She said, what will happen to your life? Like, maybe my in-laws will be blaming me for this autistic kid, or my married life may be jeopardized. Even she said, don't tell it to anyone. I don't know what to do at that point.
সেটা যদি বলেন যে আমরা কিসের ভিতর দিয়ে আসছি, সেটা পিছনে আর যাওয়ার মতো আমাদের আর সাধ্য নেই। আমি গর্ব করি আমার মেয়েকে নিয়ে যে সে এই অবস্থা কাটিয়ে ভয়াবহ। এখন তো অভ্যাসই হয়ে গেছে, মোটামুটি খাপ খেয়ে গেছি ওর সঙ্গে। খুব কষ্ট হয়েছে ওই সময়টা।
I got a scholarship at New York University, and I took it right away because I knew for sure that Tamzid will get advanced treatment in New York. And at that time, I was thinking about nothing at all in this world except Tamzid, and that made the decision for me to come. I had a neighbor just next door. She used to come to my house almost every day. She saw Tamzid and never suggested anything. When I was planning to come to New York, like everything was settled, everything has been planned out, one day she just mentioned that she has a brother. And I was surprised. I never saw her brother. So I asked her, what happened? She just mentioned that he's abnormal, so they keep him in a room. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of kids around in Bangladesh who never see the sunlight. Their relatives keep them hidden so that nobody knows, and they are never exposed to any kind of treatment or teachings.